bro.
It's a what?
This is a Puerto Rican girl from Jamaica, Queens, bro.
Shout outs to her. Steve, what's up?
What's up, bro?
How you been?
I've been alright. I mean, I could be better right now, but you know what I mean?
Where you from?
I'm from Hamden. Like the Avenue, 36th Street.
Where's that at?
Hamden.
Is that far from where we at right now?
You catch a light rail to Woodbury and, walk up probably 6 blocks and you're there.
Where we at now?
Penn North.
What brings you around here?
You know the dope.
How long have you been chasing the dope around here?
Probably 15 years.
15 years?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What first inspired you to want to start doing dope?
I mean, I hate to, say how I started. I don't tell a lot of people, how I started, but, my mom introduced me to, pain pills and shit like that, you know what I mean? The first time I got introduced to pain pills was, my mom told me to go to the hospital and act like my back was hurting. And she told me everything to say. She was keen to that too because she was an addiction herself, so. She told me everything to say, and when I walked out of there, I had fucking 40 Perc-10s, and it was off with the races after that.
How old were you when you first
13.
went? 13 years old?
Yes, sir.
From then till now, have you been drug-free ever?
I mean, drug-free in different people's minds. I mean, methadone to me is drug-free. I was clean for 5 years on the methadone, so, doing the meeting thing and shit like that, so.
What inspired you to stay clean for those 5 years?
Just going to meetings, had a job, had a sponsor, just trying to do everything I can to stay clean, brother.
Why'd you stop?
My mom, my brother, and my grandma died in a 6 month period of time, and that really took a toll on my life, so, yes, sir.
So how long has it been since you, I guess, relapsed?
About probably 7 years ago. Yeah.
So since then to now, you've been using every day?
No, I mean, I've been in treatment here and there, but it's never like I could never stay clean. I would do like the PHP where you're clean for 30, 60 days. And then when you get to go to IOP, I started using again, so.
Why do you think you started using again?
I'm not sure, man. Just hanging with the wrong people. When you're in them places, the first time somebody says, come on, let's go get something, it's off with the races, And it's sad to say that, but it's the truth,
How long do you see yourself, I guess, being out here now?
I don't want to be out here now, brother. I really don't, I've been trying to, get in places, so I'm hoping I can get clean soon, brother. I really do. Just not for my sake, but for my, I got a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old, and they need their father, brother,
What's your relationship with them like now?
I mean, I talk to them, but it's strenuous, it could be a lot better. And even with my family, my dad, a lot of people out here have a hustle. My hustle is calling my dad up and telling him I'm sick, and he'll send me cash out,
So is that how you support your habit from your parents?
Much, yeah.
How much do you spend daily?
Put it this way. I looked at my homegirl, because I don't have Cash App right now, so I go through my homegirl. We just looked at her thing. In the past 2 month period of time, he sent $3,200. So, I'm definitely putting a strain on my family, and it's not a good thing, I sit there and think about that shit all the time, like, what I put my, people through, and it's fucked up.
Are you currently living on the street?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And is that just because you're chasing the drugs?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So where are you actually sleeping?
I mean, different spots. Parks, fucking, anywhere I can, what I look at is a safe, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. You know, I definitely take like a recon little mission, you know, just to check out, just to make sure it's a, you know, a good little neighborhood, and you know, go from there.
Is it dangerous out here?
It's absolutely dangerous, man. Yes, sir.
Are you more scared of the environment than the drugs, or the drugs more than the environment?
I mean, the drugs more than the environment for sure. You know, you just see what happened here at Penn North, you know, not too long ago. The OD and shit like that, you know. That shit's scary, bro, you know.
How do you protect yourself from ODing, or have
I
you
mean,
ever OD'd?
there ain't no really, you know, protecting yourself. I mean, you go out, you know, you can Narcan yourself, so you're hoping somebody Narcans it for you, you know what I mean?
Do you take the tester drugs that they hand out?
You know, people can say they do that shit, but, you know, most people don't, you know what I mean? They can say they do, but they don't. And that's the God honest truth. You know, I have so many people that I know and, you know, frequent out here, and people say they might do the little dip thing, but they don't, you know what I mean? They really don't.
So what drugs are you currently taking?
Fentanyl and crack cocaine.
How'd you get introduced to crack cocaine?
You know, that, you know, really, if you do one, you do the other, pretty much. Yeah, I mean, people can say they don't, but they do, man. You know what I mean? One don't fit without the other, for real.
Really?
Yeah,
So you don't think you could just take one without the other?
I don't. No, sir.
So you started doing crack cocaine at 13?
Nah, that was a little later in life. You know what I mean? Probably like 17.
Do you remember the first person that introduced you to that?
A friend of mine, you know what I mean? Yeah, a friend of mine. Yeah.
Where's that person at now?
He's dead. Yeah.
Was it drug related?
Yeah, OD.
Do you see yourself ODing?
I just OD'd like 2 months ago, you know what I mean? I was almost dead, so yeah. I mean, I don't want my family getting that phone call, you know, saying, you know, their son died and their you know, my kid's father died, because that would be detrimental. I can't. I'm trying to say the word, but yeah, detrimental to them. You know, it would really put a hurt on my family, because they definitely do care. They're always there for me. You know, they care about me. They don't want me in this life anymore.
When you OD, where were you at?
Actually, I was in a recovery house. But see, you know, these recovery houses in Baltimore, they can say they're trying to do the right thing, but they're really not, man. It's all about the money, for real. You know, you got some that do care, but you got some that don't, you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, they don't care if your piss is dirty, they don't care if you get high. It's all about the money.
So at the place you OD'd at or whatever, it was like that? They didn't care? Like, they
No,
just let
not
you
at
do
all.
whatever you wanted to do?
Yeah.
So there were people around, I guess, when you OD'd?
Yes, sir. And in that house, everybody got high. Everybody. There wasn't one person in the house that didn't get high.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where was that at?
I really don't want to say the name of the program, but you know what I mean. It definitely wasn't a good program.
Did you leave because you OD'd? Like, was that the reason that you had to leave that situation?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Since
And
then,
that was on my own behalf. I could have stayed there, but I didn't want to, because you know I didn't want that situation happening again.
what do you think your purpose in life is, Steve?
You know, before all this shit happened, man, I'm a sprinkler fitter by trade. I had a good job, making over $32 an hour. Had my own work vehicle. I took care of my family. You know, I just want to be a productive member of society, for real. I mean, I don't mean to sound cliche, but you know, that's what I really want in my life, man. Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that. There's one thing that you wanted the world to know about you. What do you think that is?
I mean, I'm just a good guy, man. You know, I have my downfalls in life, man. but I do see myself picking up, you know, and doing the right thing. And, you know, hopefully I'll see you from a year from now, and, you know, you'll see me doing good, have my own work truck, and, you know, I'll call you over, and maybe I'll do an interview on you, brother. Yeah.
I totally feel that. I totally feel that.
Yes, sir.
If there's one thing in life that you learn that's the most important, what do you think it is?
You know, keep your enemies close. Keep your friends. What's that? How do you say that? Keep your friends closer and your.
Keep your enemies close and your friends closer.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Because people can act like your friend out here, yo, but they're really not, dog. They're really not, yo. They act like they got your best interests at heart, but as soon as you, let's say you OD, they're going to be the first ones in your pocket taking all your shit, you know, waking up with no shoes on, no money in your pocket, stuff like that, bro.
So you don't believe you have friends out here?
I mean, I might have a very select few, that maybe 3, but that's it. Yes,
Really?
Sir. Yeah.
Since you've been living this lifestyle, would you say more women are experiencing this or more men?
I mean, I could say it's probably equal, you know what I mean? I mean, women might do a little more than the men do when it comes to, I mean, I don't mean to say this on camera, but like tricking and, you know, shit like that. You know, men usually are the boosters and stuff like that. But, you know, I mean, I say it's about almost equal, though.
Has anyone ever propositioned you with sex for drugs?
Oh, no, I don't roll that way. I never have. And even if somebody would say something like that to me, it would be cut off right then and there. Yeah.
I feel that. Going back to your 13-year-old self, because no one knows Steve like Steve knows Steve.
Yeah.
What would you have told yourself to make you never use drugs a day in your life?
See, I can't really say that because, like I said, I was introduced by my mom, you know, and your mom, you trust everything your mom says when you're 13 years old, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I was going off of what she was saying. Oh, you take a couple, you'll be all right, da-da-da. But, you know, that wasn't the case, you know. As soon as, you know, I finished that script, I wanted more and more and more, so.
Where's your mom at now?
She died of cancer. But I'm not going to say, you know, my mom, you know, later on in life didn't do, you know, good for herself, you know. You know, she married a, you know, guy with money, had her own boat, lived in Bel Air, Maryland. You know, she tried to, you know, she knows what she put me through as a kid, so I wouldn't say she bought me with money, but she bought me with money, you know what I mean? And not like drug money, you know what I mean? Just trying to take me on trips and shit like that.
Do you have any regrets?
I have a lot of regrets, man. I have a lot of regrets. You know, I have a lot of resentment when it comes to my mom, too. I know they say you can't hold resentment in this, but, you know, I definitely do. I definitely do. Because I feel like if I was never introduced to them Percocets, my life would have took a whole different change in life. You know, I was doing great in school. I was doing good. But after that, it was, like I said, it was off with the races, you know.
Have you ever introduced anyone to drugs?
I wouldn't say on the extent that my mom has, you know, but, you know, I had people, you know, pull me up down here and say, hey, can you get me something, da-da-da. But that's about it. I don't think I introduced somebody, you know, myself. I think they already knew about the drugs and, you know, stuff like that. So.
And you say a year from now, you expect to be clean.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
If there's one thing you could say to someone right now to inspire them to be the best of them they could be, what is it you would say?
You know, just stay away from Baltimore, yo. I mean, I know they say you can get clean wherever you are, but Baltimore is fucked up, man. It really is. I mean, I love everybody in Baltimore. You know, I really do. We got some really good people here. But it's just an open-air drug market, man. You can get whatever you want at any time. And it's not even worth coming down here if you don't have to, bro. Real shit. You know, just, you know, what I would just say is, If you can stay away from Baltimore, stay away from Baltimore. Yes, sir.
And with that being said, we want to thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
We want to thank you for your honesty.
Yes, sir.
And most importantly, we want to thank you for your story.
Thank you.
We're praying for you, Steve.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you again.